It's only fitting I'd be standing here in front of the Chase building where the Missouri Tigers have their first Heisman Trophy candidate in over 60 years. That candidate, Chase Daniel. But after last week's blowout loss in the Alamo Dome to the Oklahoma Sooners, many feel he has an outside shot at best to win the award.
Everywhere you look, it seems like there's an old gray-haired guy that just won't retire. In late-night television, it's Jay Leno. In Hollywood, it's Clint Eastwood. And in the NFL, it's Brett Favre. Tony Romo actually had a Brett Favre poster in his room while growing up as a child in Wisconsin, and on Sunday he would get to face his idol. Only problem for the Cowboys early on, it was vintage Favre. A 47-yard bomb to Sidney Rice, and the Vikings on top early 7-0. We move to the second quarter where Tony Romo running for his life as Kevin Williams and Ray Edwards combined on the sack. Romo was sacked 6 times on the afternoon. That would lead to a Cowboy field goal. Minnesota up 7-3, and at 40 years old, you shouldn't be able to move like that. Brett Favre gets away from Marcus Spears, again finding Rice, and the Viking lead up to double digits. Minnesota with the defense here. Tony Romo hadn't fumbled in 8 straight games as he puts this one on the turf. If you ask a Texan, they will gladly tell you everything is bigger in Texas. The biggest game in the Big 12 this season figured to be in Texas between Kansas and the Longhorns. Here he is, the 6'6", 220-pound freshman of the 10 and the foul. Bill Self likes what he's seeing, and then the southpaw showing off the marksmanship from deep. Drains the trifecta, and Kansas up 44-29 at the half. Then it's the 5'11" senior guard from the Windy City, Sharon Collins, slashing to the hoop. A lot has changed in 40 years, or the last time the Jets won the Super Bowl. The invention of the computer, the flat screen TV, the Snuggie, and the E-Trade baby that gives retirement advice. You don't need James Cameron, Marlon Brando, or Martin Scorsese to tell you the sequel is never better than the original, although Steven Spielberg would probably never admit to it. But the Columbia College Cougars and the William Woods Owls women's basketball teams had a chance to do what Sandra Bullock's Speed 2 never did: outperform the original. Finish off the final turkey leg Thanksgiving night. Not only does it signal the beginning of Black Friday, it also means the start of rivalry weekend in college football. Teams worry less about BCS computers and more about bragging rights over their in-state rivals. Missouri and Kansas are no different.
Has been set high there at UCLA with what John Wooden has done. It's vertigo-inducingly high right now for the Bruins, and he knows if he goes back to another Final Four and doesn't win it, the fans in Westwood are not going to be pleased. 3 straight runs and no titles. It's a program in turmoil. It doesn't make that look as good, and it hurts Gary Pinkel because he's 2-16 against ranked teams. Both wins are at home against Nebraska.
That's awful. Now, at the beginning of the decade, if I would have said Rams versus Titans, you probably would have thought of the greatest show on turf and Kevin Dyson reaching for the end zone and coming up a yard short. But now as the decade comes to an end, when I say Rams versus Titans, you think of the 1-11 Rams who have a better chance of returning to Los Angeles than returning to glory, and a Titans team struggling to get back to 500 after starting 0-6. Rams in Tennessee trying to double their win total on the season, but it was the Rams defenders that would be doubled over early. That's because of this guy. The second-year man out of East Carolina, Chris Johnson, going 39 yards to the paint for the opening score. Tennessee up 7-0. Same quarter, same score. Vince Young dumps it off to Johnson, who's so explosive, he may be flammable. Zigzags all the way to the end zone. 66-yard touchdown, his 7th score of more than 50 yards. Outscored the Rams 14-0 by himself in the first quarter. Now insult to injury, Rams down 33. Interception by Vincent Fuller. He goes all the way in the opposite direction, and the Rams lose by 40, dropping to 1-12. Todd Haley, in his first year coaching in Kansas City, and well, at least it's not Charlie Weiss. Ryan Fitzpatrick hits Terrell Owens, and after 9 yards, he reunites with an old friend. The end zone. First touchdown, or actually his 3rd touchdown all year, first in quite a while. Jamal Charles with the Chiefs down by 10, 20 carries, 143 yards, and this 76-yard touchdown run to pull the Chiefs within 3. But then in the 4th, Kansas City trailing by only 6. Chris Chambers drops it at the 2-yard line, and Kansas City loses 16-10 to Buffalo, falling to 3-10 on the year. 1995. That was the first and last time the San Diego Chargers made the Super Bowl. Arnold Schwarzenegger was just a really muscular actor that lived in California. And linebacker Junior Seau, who recently retired from the NFL for a fourth time, was in the prime of his career. But Bolts fans will tell you that their team is a Super Bowl lock. San Diego has the longest winning streak in the NFL at 11, a quarterback that has thrown for more than 4,000 yards, and a running back that can do the electric glide. And there is no way the Jets could travel across the country and win with a rookie quarterback, right? Norv Turner and the Chargers, they've done well in December. They have struggled in January. Early on, though, the Bolts offense clicking. Phillip Rivers to the back of the end zone. Chris Wilson, a nice toe tap, and the Chargers up early 7-0. We fast forward to the third quarter with the Chargers up 7-3. Rivers picked off by Jim Leonard. He'll return it to the 16-yard line, and the Jets would have great field position to start the fourth. But would they capitalize? The rookie quarterback, Mark Sanchez. Can we help you? No, just looking. Still looking. Now I found it. Dustin Keller back of the end zone, and the Jets for the first time all day with the lead 10-7, but they were not done. The rookie out of Iowa, Sean Green, takes the handoff, runs over one defender, and runs by the rest. 23 carries, 128 yards, a 53-yard touchdown score, and a nice LT imitation. But there's a reason the Chargers had won 11 straight games. Phillip Rivers, Vincent Jackson on the crossing route, comes up a yard short. The Chargers would sneak it in to make it 17-14. But with a yard standing in their way from an AFC title game, Thomas Jones picks up 2, and the New York Jets are going to the AFC title as they upset the San Diego Chargers and send them home. Sean Payton and the Saints would learn the road to perfection contained an unexpected bump in St. Louis, tied at 14, opening kickoff of the third quarter. Courtney Roby takes it 97 yards to the end zone. Saints go back up 21-14, and the Saints were anywhere but done. 21-17, Drew Brees looking for Robert Meacham in the back of the end zone. 27-yard touchdown strike. Saints up by 11. Game over, right? Wrong. Mark Bulger to the right side. Donnie Avery, and after the extra point, the Rams would trail by only 5.
Is the Heisman Trophy essentially an overrated award or just a poor measuring stick of a player's potential?
You asked that of the person that hosts the Heisman Trophy show, and it's my job to promote that. No, of course it's not overrated. It's a college award.
You got the big game against Arkansas, but when you look back at this season, what are you going to remember most? But then it was Chase Daniel telling the Nebraska defense, sorry guys, I'd love to chat, but I've got to run. A 29-yard scamper on a 3rd and 10 all the way down to the Nebraska 30.
Gary Pinkel putting on the receiver gloves, but he would not need to make a single catch on Saturday. Tied at 3 second quarter, that's because the Tigers have Denario Alexander, and right on cue, a 54-yard touchdown.